It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It is the 11th day of March 2022. It is 55 degrees and sunny here in Ventura, California, but surprisingly cold, or at least I'm thin-blooded. It is I, the OG GM, with the Friday news, weather, sports, and general internet nonsense. All the stories that we forgot to cover earlier this week, or any new and weird news that has crept across the world of the interweb since last we spoke. And yes, if you can guess by the picture that's in front of your face, our number one story is we have some news on Dragonlance. Wizards of the Coast snuck this under the radar. Only one other person has reported upon it so far. That's DM Kurt. But hey, there is a new Unearthed Arcana on the Wizards of the Coast page, and it contains rules for Dragonlance-related stuff. So if you are a fan of Dragonlance, you could be excited, except, of course, it does not appear that Hickman and Weiss have actually anything to do with it. So let's take a look at this. It's called The Heroes of Krynn. It is by Ben Pedersen, Wesley Schneider, and, of course, Crawford, which means, yeah, okay, this is going to suck. This is playtest material, so it might appear in a future product. It might not. I find it kind of weird that they're doing Dragonlance stuff after they did Fizzbins, because Fizzbins sort of was the nod to Dragonlance, I thought, but I guess not. I don't know if this means they're going to do a whole Dragonlance book or just make it part of the multiverse book, since they keep saying that they're going to not be world-specific anymore and just be campaign agnostic. I would think that we're going to maybe see Dragonlance as part of a larger project, maybe the legendary upcoming Planescape-y Star Jammy thing. Anyways, this includes Kenders. Oh, God, save us. The Lunar Magic Sorcerer subclass, which so far seems to be the best thing from it. And some backgrounds. And the backgrounds include the Knights of Solomon, the Mage of High Sorcery, and then we have some feats. And the feats include Adept of the Black Rose, Adept of the Red Robes, Adept of the White Robes, Divine Communication, Divinely Favored, Initiate of High Sorcery, Knight of the Rose, and Knight of the Sword. So I guess these are replacing, these were actually classes in Dragonlance, but now they're feats, which I guess means anybody can be a Dragonlance specific paladin, even if you're not a paladin. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. I was never a Dragonlance fan. I'm sorry to say. I had plenty of other friends who were. I read one book. It didn't really get into it. I went through 2 of the Dragonlance modules. For some reason, I kept getting to play Raceland. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of my mood at the time. They never really, appealed to me. But I do know we are very thankful to Dragonlance because it brought so many people to the hobby. Dragonlance was to D&D back then in the 80s as Critical Role is to D&D right now, I would say. It was, brought a lot of general public and people who wouldn't normally have been playing D&D to show interest in D&D, and it really sparked a renewed interest in the hobby when the Dragonlance books came out. So that's our number one story. Number 2 story, we have a preview of the Call of the Netherdeep. This is the new Critical Role themed hardcover adventure that Matt Mercer may or may not have had anything to do with. We have some previews on it. We've got some of the NPCs, including an NPC who apparently is based upon Yoda. Another NPC who's apparently based upon Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Another NPC. A couple of the NPCs from it. We have some information on the goals of the rivals, which I guess is a new background for this. We've got one monster called the Corrupted Giant Shark. We've got another monster that looks like an evil flumph. Looks like this is underwater themed. We've got 3 monsters, all of which are underwater themed. We've got a new, background called Rivals. And then we have some of the PCs/NPCs that are going to be dealing with, 2 of which seem to be based upon known characters. We've got this Ivan guy who looks apparently is based upon Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and we've got a goblin, fighter, cleric, who apparently is based upon Yoda. Yeah, way to show the imagination there in Mercer. Anyways, this preview is up over on the Wizards of the Coast site, along with the information on Dragonlance. So if you want to see what we can expect from Call of the Netherdeep, check it out. And finally, we have some news from the Nebula Awards, of all things. The Nebula Awards is, of course, the awards for science fiction and fantasy books and productions. And I guess they have started to recognize the writing of role-playing games as Nebula Award worthy. So there are some more role-playing games out there that came out in 2020 and 2021 that the very, important Nebula Awards, or not important. I mean, you might consider a Nebula Awards a joke. You might consider a Nebula Award-winning book, really worth your time. I don't know. It's like an Oscar. Does it mean something to you or does it not? I don't know. I've read plenty of Nebula Award-winning books that I thought were crap, and I read plenty of books that didn't win Nebula Awards that I thought were great. But then again, I've also read plenty of Nebula Award-winning award books. Blah, 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 blah. More caffeine, please. It's hard to believe I have a degree in communication, isn't it? So yeah, make of this what you will. We have some role-playing games that have been nominated for Nebula Awards for their writing. The nominees are Coyote and Crow by Connor Alexander, Grandma's Hand by Roaring Lion Production, never heard of that one, Thirsty Swords Lesbians by April Kit Walsh, yes, way to go, Thirsty Swords Lesbians, Wander Home by Possum Creek Press, that was not so surprise, and Wild Myth, which I got a copy of from World Walker Games. So we have Coyote and Crow from Coyote and Crow, Grandma's Hand, haven't heard of that one yet, from Roaring Lion, Thirsty Sword Lesbians from Evil Hat, Wander Home from Possum Creek, and Wild Mirth from World Walker Games. I have a copy of Wild Mirth, I just picked it up. Grandma's Hands I've never heard of, the others I have. So congratulations to all those for being so well written that the Nebula Awards consider you worthy of the same category as some of the best science fiction and fantasy writing. Now let's just take a moment to notice what game isn't mentioned anywhere in this. Apparently the Nebula Awards consider a certain game not worthy their time, do not feel it's well written enough to be considered for a Nebula Award, as opposed to games like Thirsty Sword Lesbians, which they do feel is well enough written to be considered for well wrote. So just take a second to notice what game company is nowhere mentioned on that list. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is not and never has been nominated for a Nebula Award because it's a piece of crap. Suck it, J. Scott Garrity, suck it long and suck it hard. 5th edition is not worthy of the attention of Nebula Awards. And speaking of games that are worth your attention, it's the last days to submit to the OSR Jam. Both I and my friend Rasputin have submitted games to the OSR Jam. It's going through the end of the month. It's a chance to submit some games, products, adventures, monsters, anything related to the OSR, and have them put up with several others, get nominated for prizes, make some extra money, and show some love for the OSR. So if you're feeling generous or just feeling curious, check out the OSR Jam. And I believe that's all the news we have this week. So yes, again, number one story, Dragonlance lives, sort of, but sadly, Tracy and Margaret and Tracy have absolutely nothing to do with it. So this is the Wizards of the Coast toned down, politically correct, Twitter-influenced version of Dragonlance, which means I don't know why we're even seeing this now, unless, of course, they're going to show up in the legendary forthcoming book of whatever it is they're going to do next. We have a preview of Call of the Netherdeep, and apparently in Matt Mercer's amazing imagination, he has given us Shaggy and Yoda. And we have Science Fiction and Fantasy Nebula Awards nominating tabletop role-playing games worthy of being considered in the same category as some of the best science fiction and fantasy written. Noticeably missing from that, of course, is 5th edition. Suck it, J. Scott. Suck it long and suck it hard. And the OSR Jam is still going on to the end of the month, so if you want to submit your product to the OSR Jam, check it out. Links down below. That's it for all the news, weather, and sports we may have missed. Tune in later today for this week's editorial and some more GM's tips. I am the OG GM. If you appreciate this nonsense, my sarcasm, and my judgmentalness, let me know. If you think I should stop, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit, 700 subs by the end of the month, and we'll do something crazy. Like, buy a house, shave my head, eat a taco. Oh, wait, I gave up tacos for Lent, so no tacos to April. 1,000 subs by August 4th is not asking too much. Please help me hit 1,000 subs. Or if you're feeling generous with summer coming up, consider supporting me through the several ways you're supporting me. If you have a game you want me to review, let me know. I'm happy to review it. I'm not going to turn it down like some people. Till next time, get out of my lance, you dragons, and get out of my dragons, you lance. Goddamn Kinder, goddamn always stealing my goddamn stuff. Goddamn.